So you already know, if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, this has been a really tough couple of weeks for us after the loss in New York and then the losses on Tuesday in Pennsylvania and whatnot. It's been tough. And as of late, there's been some chatter about Bernie Sanders potentially dropping out because he, quote, is allegedly reevaluating his position after his losses on Tuesday, which that's not true. And furthermore, he's made big cuts to his campaign, hundreds of staffers. And even though it is the case that many campaigns do start to cut staffers in certain states after the primary season is wrapped up and whatnot, it's not a good sign. So it's really frustrating, and many people were worried that Bernie Sanders would be dropping out before the convention, but thankfully he has reaffirmed his commitment to remain in the race until Philadelphia. So he states, the people in every state in this country should have the right to determine who they want as president and what the agenda of the Democratic Party should be. That's why we are in this race until the last vote is cast. That is why this campaign is going to the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia with as many delegates as possible to fight for a progressive party platform that calls for a $15 an hour minimum wage, an end to our disastrous trade policies, a Medicare for all healthcare system, breaking up Wall Street financial institutions, ending fracking in our country, making public colleges and universities tuition-free, and passing a carbon tax so we can effectively address the planetary crisis of climate change. And furthermore, just to add to that, his supporters aren't going anywhere either, and you can expect to deal with us even after the convention, because we are not going anywhere. I'm still Sanders through and through, and I'm not going to quit. And the thing that's frustrating is that Hillary Clinton supporters, they just assume that we're going to unite behind Hillary Clinton now, because it's most likely the case that Bernie Sanders will not make up enough delegates to win outright. But that's not the case. It doesn't matter. Like, for one, I'm frustrated because I vote in Oregon. We're one of the last states to go, and I haven't even casted my vote yet, and yet apparently the decision is made up for me. No, thank you. I'm still going to go and cast my vote for Bernie Sanders, and enthusiastically so. To me, I look at Bernie Sanders as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The one chance we get to elect a non-corporatist, centrist Democratic candidate for president. All these other Democrats, they'll take money from financial institutions, they'll take money from the health insurance industry and pretend to be progressive, but when they get in office, they betray us immediately. And I'm done with that. I'm not going to support a party who is not going to support me and look out for my interests. So for me, that's why as soon as I cast my vote for Bernie Sanders, I will be switching to an independent voter. Just for symbolic purposes. I want to send a message to the party that you lost me. You had your chance with Bernie Sanders, but you ruined it. We could have had someone who would have united the party and made Democrats infinitely popular. With FDR, he won by a landslide. He's the only president in American history to serve more than 2 terms because he was really popular. He was a social democrat. He actually got things done for the people. He didn't care about special interests. He rejected them. He said, I welcome their hate. Bernie Sanders says the same thing. He says, I welcome their contempt to disgruntled CEOs. And I'm not going to support any more corporatist Democrats. I'm sorry, you guys had your chance to win me over with Bernie Sanders. You screwed that up. You bungled that. So that was your one opportunity to win over millennials and people who are disenchanted with the political process. But you guys failed miserably, so I'm still Sanders. If you think I'm going to stop, talking about Bernie Sanders, even if he's out of this election, I'm still going to continue to fight for universal health care, for a $15 minimum wage. I refuse to acquiesce. I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton. I will not unite behind her. And I feel bad for the Democratic voters in swing states who have to reluctantly cast their vote for Hillary Clinton because they don't want Trump to win. But for me, I'm in a deep blue state. You guys are not going to get my vote anymore. So yes, it is the case that Bernie Sanders is staying in it until Philadelphia. And so are we. We're not going anywhere. Here's the thing. I'm not in support of candidates. I am in support of the ideas that candidates hold. So if Hillary Clinton is going to run as basically a Republican, why would I support her? Why would I support a Republican or Republican light? She's to the right of Trump on some issues. I'm not joking. Foreign policy-wise, he didn't want to invade Iraq. She did. Now, I don't know if I necessarily believe anything Trump says, but I mean, just when it comes to their rhetoric, if you judge it by that alone, by that metric, he's to the left of Hillary Clinton. So, I'm sorry, but the Democratic Party had their chance to win over millennials and progressives and independents, but they blew it. They blew it by rigging the system, by limiting debates, by corroborating with the Hillary Clinton campaign at the beginning to limit debates, by trying to attack these progressive candidates by disabling their access to van. They did it to Bernie Sanders. They did it to Alex Law. They did it to Tim Canova. so that way they could basically disembowel their entire campaign. It's not fair. It's not right. When Hillary Clinton first announced her campaign, I was going to reluctantly support her, and I was thinking, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to be happy about it, but I can't imagine that they're going to put up a Republican who's any more reasonable than her, so I might as well vote for her. But then Bernie Sanders came along, and Hillary Clinton really showed her true colors. She attacked core democratic values, which I hold dear. Universal healthcare, that's non-negotiable. If you don't support that, I don't support you. And now she's wavering on money in politics. All of a sudden, it's acceptable for a Democratic candidate to say, I want to get unaccountable money out of politics? Well, yeah, I do too. I'd love more transparency, but you know what I want to do? I want to get money out of politics altogether. Hillary Clinton isn't even in support of that. She's not even saying she's going to nominate a liberal Supreme Court justice. She would not ask Obama to withdraw his appointment of Merrick Garland. I have zero reasons to vote for Hillary Clinton. So I am still Sanders through and through. I will continue to fight for him until he's out of the race. And after that, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be just as loud and obnoxious as I've always been. So Hillary supporters are going to have to get used to vocal Bernie Sanders supporters who are fighting for the right causes, who are on the right side of history. And I suggest you join us, because if you don't put pressure on the Democratic Party, guess who they're going to represent? Their donors. They don't care about you. They care about their special interest donors who get them in the office. It's rational. It's what they do. It's time for Hillary Clinton supporters to unite behind progressives, to unite behind the ideals that we've been fighting for decades as Democrats. Universal health care, getting money out of politics. That's what true Democrats do. And because the party isn't doing that anymore, I'm going to switch to an independent. Now, I'll still push them. I'll still push the party and caucus with the party when it comes to congressional races. But guess what? You lost me. You blew your chance. Sorry.